Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 45 of the GVGcast. It is a special weekend earlier in the day episode for us. I'm, of course, your host, Ash Paulson, and I'm joined by my good friend and GVG co-founder, Derrick Bittner, and our superstar art director, Daniel Alba. How's it going, guys? Happy weekend.
Yeah, I'm all right. My nose is stuffed up to high heaven. I
I
don't know if I
know.
sound weird or not, but man, it
You
sucks.
don't.
I can't breathe properly, and that's always annoying.
Oh, that's the
Oh my
worst. You don't
god.
you don't sound bad, but yeah, that's the worst when you can't, yeah, when you're all stuffed up, you can't breathe properly. That's never any fun.
You get miserable, so I'm just
Yeah.
trying to fight that as much as I can. Ugh. How about you, Daniel? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling okay, actually. The number one causes of why I keep getting sick in the last few months, being my three little sisters. They're in Japan right now. So
Oh,
it's just me and my dad in the house at the moment. So I'm trying to do a lot more audio stuff while I can and while they're not screaming in the background. So it's been I mean, I miss them, but it's been nice as well. It's nice and quiet.
well, I
um
asked you about this earlier, but like, I wish you could have. I'm glad you're here. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad you're here on the show with us. But I also really wish you were in Japan too, because it's awesome
I
there.
I've learned from my dad that the reason I haven't my stepmom in particular hasn't taken me is because she feels like there's an expectation to take me somewhere, and I'm like, I don't need to
Oh,
go anywhere in particular. I just
right.
want to be in Japan. I
Yeah,
want to see the
Yeah.
family and maybe learn a bit of Japanese while I'm there. I don't have to go anywhere. It's also being my first time there. They can take me wherever
Right.
they want, and I'll be happy.
I mean, no matter where you end up, there's gonna be something cool. It's like I don't
Yeah,
care. Just
it's
get
a
me in the
new
Yeah.
country.
it's a new country for me, yeah. But I'm supporting them right now. This is the shirt for that my stepmom's ramen shop is from. It was weird actually. The other day I went to the DMV, which I mean,
Oh,
I tried
God, I'm
to
sorry.
Good
I
luck.
tried to do the online get in the line method, and so it was like a virtual queue. And so
Oh,
when I went there when it was around my time to go, there was another line for appointments outside to get inside into the line, and I was late because of that. I didn't know there was like two lines to
Ugh.
get into, so that
oh
was a bit.
no.
But while I was there, in the entrance of the DMV, someone noticed this shirt and was like, "Do you work at the Dohasuten?" And I'm like, "No, but that's my stepmom's shop." And I got recognized out of nowhere. Like she was naming my dad, my sisters,
Oh
and
my god.
apparently the shop's a lot more popping lately than I thought it was. But that
Right.
was interesting. So that was my earlier this week. Otherwise,
Jeez.
I've uh, I've just had a nice time playing Metroid Prime
Oh
Remastered.
yeah.
I 100%ed that one in about 13 hours. I had a lovely Valentine's Day with Samus. So that was my week, and then later that week I played a much worse remaster.
Oh, and I know we'll be talking about all that as well as a little game that Derek and I are both playing that we are absolutely in love with. No surprise, you know what I'm talking about. I streamed it earlier this week. It's Theatrhythm, but we'll get to that. Before that, we have an amazing sponsor to shout out, and that is, of course, the Game Orb. The Game Orb is a YouTube channel that brings commentary and gameplay footage from the Nintendo Switch and Xbox Series X gaming systems. While games like Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu can be seen on the channel along with others, the Game Orb will also now be adding Splatoon 3, Super Mario Sunshine, and Fall Guys to the gaming collection. So be sure to subscribe to the Game Orb at the link in the description. And I say this every week, but they have been supporting us from the very beginning of GVG, period. So if you love what we do here, please go show them some love because they have been supporting us from the very start. And we are so appreciative. So please go subscribe, check out their videos, like them and all that good stuff. And the Game Orb, we love you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Also, we've got some patron birthdays to shout out. Quite a few actually.
Oh,
Noah Fitterer, their birthday was yesterday, the 17th. So happy belated birthday. It would have been on the birthday. We usually do our show on Fridays, but we couldn't for various reasons this week. So happy belated birthday, Noah. Dat Boy's birthday was on Thursday the 16th. So happy belated birthday to you, Dat Boy. And also, Mean Guy, happy almost birthday. Your birthday is on the 21st, next Tuesday. So happy almost birthday to you, Mean Guy. And
wow.
I hope all three of you have
Yeah,
had
happy.
or are going to have awesome birthdays.
Seriously, happy birthday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
happy birthday all around.
And also, one more that completely like slipped my mind. Happy birthday to us, GVGcast. Actually, our very first episode of the GVG cast was February 11th last year. So
That's
time
wild.
Wow.
flies. I can't believe it's been a year already of GVG cast. But happy birthday to our show. So yeah, we turned
Yeah.
one a week ago and we all missed it. We all missed it. We didn't even
Oops.
realize it. Yeah.
They never remember the first birthday. It doesn't matter.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, yeah, happy birthdays to everyone. Hope you're all having a wonderful time out there. And yeah, we're here on the weekend because yesterday a few things happened. Steve had to watch one of his kids, so he had to pull out the last second. And he's like, sorry, guys, can't make it. Got to watch it with my kids. And we're like, dude, family first. Don't even worry about it. And then it turned out I had to work late. I was working until like 8 p.m. yesterday for my day job. So,
Ah,
we were just like we just couldn't quite make it happen, and so I talked to you guys and we were like, well, I think we can make it happen tomorrow at like 11:30 Pacific. And I'm like, hey, let's do it tomorrow then. Plus it's been a while since we've been able to have an earlier in the day episode for our friends across the pond in the UK and Europe and such, so it worked out perfectly. We're getting to do an earlier in the day episode for all of you, so you're not up at 1 or 2 a.m. watching the show, even though we really appreciate that some of you are willing to do that.
Well, it's also an experiment since, some rather than cancel outright, just have a delayed a day and see if that works out and people are interested in Saturday shows work. So,
Yes, exactly.
yeah.
Also, one more quick shout out. Unfortunately, our patron Common Bird was scammed out of $700 buying a
sucks.
Met.
Oh,
Yeah,
jeez.
they were buying a MetaQuest 2 from somebody online, and they were scammed out of $700. So they did start a PayPal fundraiser to try to recoup some of that cost. So if you can contribute, no pressure, of course, at all, but if you can contribute to their fundraiser to kind of to recoup some of the money they lost, I did paste their link in our video description for this episode. So if you can help them out, I'm sure every little bit would be very much appreciated. And we're really sorry, Common Bird, that you were scammed
Yeah.
out of that, $700
That's so
buying a
unfortunate.
fake MetaQuest 2. Yeah, that sucks. That sucks. With that said, you know what doesn't suck, Derek? Theatrhythm.
Oh God,
Theatrhythm.
I knew it.
it's
Oh
so
my
good.
God. I've been waiting to talk about this. As you guys all know, I streamed it earlier this week on our channel. I did a launch day stream, and I mean, I knew I was going to love the game. It's Theatrhythm. I played the first two, or the 3DS games, to death, and this is the console Theatrhythm game that I've been dreaming of and thought would never happen. But now that it's here, it's every bit as good as I hoped it would be. It's been hard readjusting to the button controls because I was really good with the touch controls, but I'm getting it back. Like I'm
I
readjusting. Yeah.
I tuned into your stream a little bit, saw a bit of it, and you're like, "Oh, I'm still adjusting, and I'm watching you pound out these ultimate songs, no issue." I'm like, "What the hell,
Yeah.
Ash?
Criticals.
Uh-huh.
That's
No, I have
ridiculous."
gotten back to the point where I can basically either S, double S, or triple S every ultimate score.
I am not at
Um,
that point.
yeah.
I can do that with most standard ones, but I definitely not at the point where I can do that with the ultimate. So God no.
Right. Well, you'll get there though.
Yeah.
It just takes practice.
Hmm.
I thought it was really interesting to see how I didn't even realize it at first, but there's a streamer friendly interface for that.
Yeah.
There
for that game?
is. It's so cool, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, some of that info is I'd almost want to see all the time anyway.
Yeah, like it's not only for streamers, but for like music game geeks like me who love to see very granular data on the songs they're playing, and it's just the kind of thing that Square Enix wouldn't normally do, I feel like. And so it's just a very forward-thinking feature for them, not only on the streamer front for but also for music game fans who just
Mhm.
really get super technical about their performance in the game. And I found myself using it unsurprisingly, even when I'm not streaming. I just like having that, that information there at my fingertips. So there's also a feature you can turn on that, and this is fairly common in other music games, but that tells you if you're early or late in every button press that you do. And
Ah.
I just love seeing stuff like that in Theatrhythm. It's just not stuff that I ever thought I'd see in this series.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool. Yeah.
What order are you going in for your? Are you just going to your favorite Final Fantasies, or are you how are
I'm
you going through it?
So I'm trying to be disciplined. I'm trying to go in series order.
Mm.
For the stream, I didn't do that. For the stream, I took, requests from the audience, like our good friend and patron Aramis Baramis was really excited to see Mystic Quest soundtrack, and I love Mystic Quest as well. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and unlock Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. Same thing with FF4. So I tried to take patron requests where I could, or audience requests where I could during the stream. But I think when I'm playing just myself, I'm gonna try to be good about it. I'm going to try to be, principled and go
Uh,
from FF1 all the way, in order. But it's hard because I just want to go straight to my favorites: 6, 8, 13-2, 10-2. It's hard not to go straight to my favorites, but I like having the kind of linear. This is where the music started, and then going through the 8-bit, the 16-bit, and through the series history in linear order.
right. I need to remember to unlock Mystic Quest because I'm like I just unlocked Final Fantasy 6 and I just realized I should have unlocked Mystic Quest next because release order, but they don't
Oh,
have
right.
that option. It's just like here's all
Yeah,
the mainline titles and then here's all the other ones, and that's when you
right.
get the extras. But yeah, I've been going in series order. Started with 7 though because I transferred over my demo stuff. So yeah,
Right.
had to start beginning. Were you thrown off when they told you it was like clear a title in order to unlock the next one because you had a key from the demo? It's like, wait,
Yeah,
what?
I didn't realize that you had to actually clear a title before you could unlock the next one. So I actually had to do that on stream. I had to finish what was it? I think I finished 5. The
Oh, okay,
popular audience request was 5. So I finished FF5 and then unlocked my next one from that. But yeah, I didn't expect to have to finish one first. Yeah.
yeah. But it's just a lot of fun. I've looked and one of my stats I've put in like 10 hours already just watching Kai and playing that when I can.
For
It's
sure.
the thing is I've only gone through like 100 songs. There's so many songs in that game.
Oh, it's yeah. I mean, I got the Digital Lux Premium, Crazy Edition, which by the end of everything will have over 500 songs, and I'm
Hmm.
just waiting for those DLC drops, especially the Chronos DLC drops for sure. Really excited about
Xenogears.
that. Xenogears, yeah, Live Alive. I can't wait to play Megalomania. It's going to be a lot of fun. Daniel, do you have any designs on playing Theater Rhythm, man?
I'm not sure. I mean, I hear everyone talking about it, and I feel like I should at least give it a shot. I'm not the biggest, or at least not the best at rhythm games.
Fair
The
enough.
last
Fair
the last
enough.
one I played was Melody of Memory on the Switch,
Okay.
which it looks fairly. It seems fairly more casual than the intensity I see you go through playing Theater Rhythm, because I saw some of your stream as well, and I was like,
Uh-huh.
oh my goodness,
But
just being able to
Yeah.
like see your inputs in
I
live
love that.
time.
Yeah.
That was like, oh yeah, that's really cool to see. But
Hmm.
as far as actually playing it, I might give it a shot. I probably am not gonna like dip in $100 to do all the content,
Yeah,
but
I don't blame you.
I'll definitely at least give it a shot at some point for sure.
makes
For
sense. You
sure.
can
For
at least
sure.
try the demo and see what you think.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
So
exactly. I love Goran Amber, our good friend Goran Amber, in our live audience chat saying Theater Rhythm peaks with FF1 though, and if you don't know, they are a FF1 mega fan. So while I don't necessarily agree with that assessment, I'm not surprised to see you say it, and I do love your undying adoration of Final Fantasy One, and it does have an awesome soundtrack as well, for sure. Now, Daniel, you've been playing something much less exciting, I would say, and a lot more disappointing.
oh,
Well, I shouldn't say much less exciting because I love this game, but I should say disappointing because of the way this remaster has turned out. Tell us about Tales of Symphonia Remastered, man. Tell us
Here it
how
is.
that's going. Yeah.
The uh the Switch version in particular. It's nope. I'm gonna leave it over there right now. Uh oh my goodness. Bandai Namco really dropped the ball with this remaster. I
That's such a
I
shame.
thought I was hoping that the reviews and criticisms I heard were kind of exaggerated, but unfortunately they were not, especially with the Switch version, which is a shame because this series started on the GameCube. Like at least since Symphonia did. This is the first time that Symphonia has come back on a Nintendo console
Right.
since the GameCube. And there's been releases of this game before that. There's been Tales of Destiny, Tales of Eternia, also known as Tales of Destiny 2 here in the West. But yeah, Symphonia was the one that actually brought attention to the Tales series on the GameCube of all systems. And like it's the first one that I ever played, and I have a really soft spot for the Tales series and Symphonia in particular for introducing me to. It was probably my first like real JRPG experience because like N64 didn't really have a like true not very many JRPG
it
experiences.
had
So
3, and even
Yeah.
it had
all those were
3.
very different.
One of them was Paper Mario,
Yeah,
which I still love, by the way. But Symphonia, yeah, that really introduced me to what a JRPG can have, the scope in which stories can be told in a game. Because Like I played up to when you get to the Tower of Salvation in the original, and I was like, "Oh, is this the whole game? That was a cool game." And then that's when the game starts.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, like the issues are, I don't understand how the game shipped this way. Like I'm sure maybe some people have seen the tweets I made about some of the issues that I had just the other day going through it. Like the frame rate will die if there's like sand flowing in the foreground, like in the desert of Triet. And I don't understand how that makes it dip so hard to the point where I think before the day one download patch, people were having crashes in that area.
Oh man.
There wasn't any. I haven't seen any crashes at this point. At this point in that game, I'm in Palma Costa, so I'm like a few hours in, and yeah, it's the most jarring thing is the battle transitions, which I can't believe. So classic JRPG battle transitions, the screen shatters and it goes into battle. Other Tales
Right.
games do it. Final Fantasy X is probably my favorite example of that, where it just goes psh. But in this game, when you touch an enemy to go into battle, the screen goes black, then white, and then it just dumps you into the battle. And
Ridiculous.
That's so boring.
It gets me dizzy. This is the point where I don't want to fight anyone because that flash gets me so dizzy at this point. And it's such a weird thing. There's no transitions. There's no smooth dissolve transitions. It's just hard cuts, and it's jarring.
That's such a shame.
That's one of many problems. Like that's not even covering how like when you go to the menu, the background is just pure black. Or when you're doing a skit, the background is pure black. I don't know why they go to the
why?
What happened?
How do you do that?
How do you? I don't know. I for those who don't know, I'm gonna do a video on this, and it's gonna be the baddest 5 videos I've done so far.
Nice.
I mean,
not nice.
As many are aware, I'm in the process of writing writing and researching a Tales retrospective. It'll be quite a bit till that's ready to go, but I was like, okay, what did Symphonia add in the PS2 version that they've just insisted on that version being the version from now on? And it's like a few mystic arts and
costumes.
That's about it. Just port the damn GameCube at this point.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
So weird because it's not as though Bandai Namco have a necessarily have a history of crappy ports. I mean, we just got Klonoa, and they did a bang up job with that. And we got Katamari a little while back, and they did a good job with that. Hopefully, they'll also do a good job with the upcoming We Love Katamari port. But like Klonoa got the star treatment, and so should Symphonia. I mean, so should Tales of in general. I mean, Symphonia was personally my introduction to the Tales of series, and it's a very special game to me, and it deserves so much better. It's frustrating.
Yeah. I think once the PS2 version came out, at some point between that and getting the Symphonia Chronicles on PS3, I think they just lost the source code for the GameCube version, and that has the 60 FPS hardwired. I didn't even get into the frame rate issue. I mean, that's the whole frame rate issue right there. Is that playing Symphonia on the GameCube has that 60 FPS, and you'd have to like work the game from the ground up to capture that again. But even then, I'm pretty sure Symphonia deserves that to get like a full-on remake, because in the last few months we've had some really stellar remakes and remasters from like games like Crisis Core, Metroid Prime. They look fantastic, and they could have just done that here too, and they chose not to. And I don't understand why they're doing one of the games that brought popularity across this overseas dirty like this. So yeah, I'm gonna have a lot of words about this in a structured format, but that's my like early take on my feelings.
Gotcha. Well, to pivot very quickly to something I did recently that was not disappointing, I got actually a week ago today, I got to go with my wife to an early preview day of Super Nintendo World. And I just wanted to touch on that really quick because I got to do the thing. I got to be there in person. And it was, we bought the power-up band. She got Toad, I got Yoshi. And we did the damn thing. And I know it's open to the public now, and I've heard horror stories of lines going all the way out.
Oh, I'm
like
not
the
surprised.
Actual park entrance. So I'm so thankful I was able to get in on a preview day. But you know what? It was really damn cool. When you walk in through like the warp pipe and you go through Peach's castle, and you kind of come out into, the Super Nintendo world itself, I have to say I was a little overwhelmed emotionally because they did. I would say the best part of it is the incredible set design, like genuinely incredible. And you walk out and you see it's like walking into the Mushroom Kingdom, and you see Mario's world just splayed out before you, and it's the animatronic Goombas and the Pokies and the Koopas, and I was overcome like emotionally. I got a little like you just choked up because I'm like, wow, this is like genuinely like my childhood brought to life before my eyes. And I hope all of you out there, for those of you who haven't been, I hope you get to go to some iteration of it, whether it's Hollywood or Osaka or the upcoming Orlando version, which I think opens next year, I believe. But it was cool, and unfortunately, the Mario Kart ride, when it worked, it was pretty cool, but it broke down multiple times for
Oh
us.
no.
So we were just kind of chilling there for like several times while the ride glitched out and we weren't going anywhere, and yeah,
Eating the food.
exactly. So we didn't get into Toadstool Cafe.
Oh.
So
Oh, man.
our appointed time last Saturday was later than all of the appointments you could even get for Toadstool Cafe. So we couldn't even get in to eat and try that food. So that's the one thing I didn't get to do. We'll be going back to check it out. But yeah, like the Mario Kart ride, and they say, hey, it's early preview access day. The rides may not work as intended. I get that, whatever. But when it worked, it was pretty cool. It was like an augmented reality thing where you have these like this AR display on goggles in front of you, and you're like shooting shells at the Koopa kids and Bowser, and like there's like wind effects. You go through cloud top cruise from Mario Kart 8, and so you have like the cloud enemies from Super Mario 3D World blowing wind at you, and you feel the wind. And there's of course like a Rainbow Road segment at the end, and when everything's in sync and working, it actually does feel really cool. But hopefully you go there on a day where it doesn't break down, because that kind of was immersion breaking.
Yeah, I'll get it ironed out, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, in general, I would say if you can go. It's especially if you have just a soft spot for Mario, because it really does feel like you're stepping into the Mushroom Kingdom. And then not just that, Yoshi's Island and Bowser's Castle, like all three of them are represented. And the set design, you guys, I just it is so detailed and so well done, and I can't praise that enough. So definitely go if you can. It was a lot of fun punching blocks with my power up band and getting coins and finding cool stuff to scan. So yeah, it was a cool experience, and I hope you all get to go out there. But you know what's also cool? Super chats. We have a few super chats to read out. Then
Quite
we'll
a
move
few.
on to some news. Yeah, we do. So first, we've got Lizard81288 with $10. Thank you very much. JoJo Part 9 had its first chapter this week. It takes place in America. People ignore COVID regulations, and there's police brutality too. Araki really did his research on America. Well, not gonna argue with anything you just said. That's America.
I've not read it yet, but I have. The thing I've heard is that the main character sells drugs to kids, steals those drugs from the kids, and then sells them back to the kids. It's
Jeez,
just like,
jeez.
God.
I don't know the full context or anything like that. That's just something I heard. And I mean, I've only watched up to JoJo Part 5, so I'm still far behind.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Or Part 4.
I knew. Okay. I knew JoJo went hard. I just didn't know it went hard in that way. But it sounds like they're capturing a
yeah.
fairly accurate portrayal of America, for worse and worse. But yeah, thank you for that, Lizard. Really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Next up is Jaden Buck with $5. Thank you, Jaden. Crazy Question Fridays. Crazy question number 71. If you could choose between perfect Wi-Fi or perfect cellular coverage, what would you choose? Oh man. I guess.
Perfect Wi-Fi, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm tempted to say,
Wi-Fi.
yeah, like I guess Wi-Fi practically, but cellular coverage is great too because you can have it anywhere, right? Like, you're never going to be without coverage if you have perfect cell coverage. But I would say just in terms of the convenience of being at home and being able to do everything I want to do, online. Yeah, I agree with you guys. Perfect
Yeah.
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. Next up, Aramis Baramis with $50. Thank you so much for your incredibly generous super chat, Aramis. Thank you. Hey, GVG crew, in remembrance, and I mentioned this earlier, in remembrance of how much Mystic Quest's OST slaps, what is a game that has the biggest gap between quality of game low and quality of music high? Have a great cast. And I can already tell you, it's Balan Wonderworld. Done. That's it. The game is
I have a
crap.
feeling.
Yep, the
See,
game is crap. But
see,
as I said before, the soundtrack's awesome.
I was gonna put out Sonic 06.
That's a good one too. That's a good one too.
I just have Tales in the brain, so I'm gonna say Tales of Legendia. A stellar, best soundtrack in the entire series. The game itself, hard for me to play.
Fair enough.
Just trust me on that one.
I've heard good things, so yeah.
Yeah, yeah, same. But yeah, if you haven't yet, go check out Chapter 4 of Balan Wonderworld. The music, not the game. Don't play the game. Just go check out the music for Chapter 4 of Balan Wonderworld. It is truly majestic. It's fantastic. But yeah, the game is utter crap. Thank you, Aramis. John Salter with $5. Thank you, John. I wanted to show my support as I likely won't watch live past the first 30 minutes. Hope for a good podcast. Well, we may have missed you. Hopefully you're still here, but if not, thank you so much for your support, John, and thank you for tuning in for the first half hour. Next up is Tinker with $5. Good morning. Random question. What is y'all favorite mobile game? No ports. I've personally been addicted to one called Candies and Curses. Well, thank you, Tinker. And it's not only a mobile game anymore, but it started off as an arcade and then a mobile game. And that is a rhythm game called Groove Coaster. I love Groove Coaster. And there's a Switch version called YY Party that I also really like. But I got into Groove Coaster through the mobile version, and I really like it. What about you guys?
Figured it was going to be a rhythm game. I should have known.
I'm predictable.
It's Fire Emblem Heroes. No one saw
Yeah,
that.
that's not a shock.
Right, yeah.
I just love the utter fan service that it gives to people, and the fact that it gives all these characters voices that you otherwise never would have had. And it's just it's on 6 years now, so they're doing something right.
Yeah, right. That's true. I don't play mobile games a whole lot. You guys all know that. But the one mobile game I did play a ton of I don't know why, but it was just simple enough that I was just like, yeah, sure, I'll take care of it. I'll play this. Magikarp Jump. I played until that was. I played until it was. I finished all the quests and all that. I don't know why, but I just played the hell out of Magikarp Jump. I don't anymore, but that's one that I definitely played the most out of.
God, I completely forgot about that game.
There's a whole episode on it on the Pokemon Journey series.
Of course there is.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that, Tinker. Appreciate that. Next up is Grantles with $5. Thank you, Grant. Hey, Final Bar Line has the Smash remixes of Aerith's Theme and Cosmo Canyon in the game, and I find that neat. Yeah, in the game they just call it like Aerith's Theme for collaboration or something. They don't use the name Smash in the song list, of course.
Is it in the quest, or you have to go to the song list?
You know, I don't know. I haven't played through the entire FF7 quest yet, so I don't know.
I've played through the entire FF7 quest, but I haven't done the FF7 offshoots, so I'm not sure if it's in there.
It might be in the the FF7 series quest.
Yeah.
That would be more likely, I think. But yeah, they are in the game, and I find that very cool as well.
That's so funny.
There's so much. And speaking of Final Bar Line, Super Dang Awesome Unicorn Guy with $4.99. Thank you. Does Theatrhythm include the FF Strangers of Paradise OST? Can we play Limp Bizkit and the rest of Jack's iTunes playlist? So,
I don't think they do.
Yes and no. So they don't have any Limp Bizkit, but they do have two songs from two original songs from Stranger of Paradise in the game. It's Battle Chaos Advent and Battle False Night. So I haven't played Stranger of Paradise myself. I still would like to someday, but they do indeed have two songs from the game in Theatrhythm, just not Limp Bizkit.
That's wild. I know we still haven't gotten a complete list of all the DLC songs for the final pack, and I'm kind of hoping that we get some kind of Dragon Quest representation. That'd be kind of cool. It's just we have so much from around all of Square.
Oh yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll see what we get.
Yeah, exactly. And as always, I will read out more super chats as we get through the show. But we should go ahead and touch on a little news. Not very much this week. Just a few light things to touch on. Really quickly, though, to answer your question in the YouTube chat, Kevin Lai asking, how do you post questions for the guys to read on stream? Well, you can do that one of two ways. You can donate a super chat, as I've been reading out just now, right here on YouTube, or you can visit our Patreon, patreon.com/GVGaming. If you support us at the producer tier, you can suggest topics for us to discuss every week on GVGcast, which we'll be doing later on in the show today. So one of two ways. That's how you can get us to read your questions on stream. But either way, thank you so much for being here, Kevin. We really appreciate having you in our audience. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so the news. Not a whole lot this week, like I said, but a little bit to touch on. So the first is Pokémon Scarlet and Violet, a game I'm currently playing and quite enjoying despite its issues. It's getting an update. An update's coming at the end of February, and it's both, I guess, kind of what you would want, but also not what you would want. I've looked through the patch notes, and it does fix a lot of bugs, a couple of which I myself have included, but it doesn't. Nothing stated about performance fixes, and that's like
And
the thing, right?
yeah, and I've also seen that they're in, or maybe to help fix the performance, they're lowering the amount of Pokemon that appear on screen or in the wild.
Which, okay, I mean, I guess that's maybe a nice start. But and I don't get me wrong, I appreciate the bug fixes. Like that's important too. And there are and if you look through the patch notes, there are a lot of bugs that
Oh,
need
yeah.
to be
A lot
fixed
on
for
there.
sure. Some that I didn't even know about. But I just feel like they really should be paying at least some kind of lip service to the major performance issues in this game. And I just kind of wish they were focusing on that. I'm sure there's another update coming that will focus on that, but I just wish they were a little bit more on the ball about it.
Yeah, they've been doing. It's a pretty comprehensive list of issues that I've seen myself and those that have been seen like posted online to Twitter that you've seen so many times. It's kind of funny. The one major glitch that I had encountered where that child gets destroyed in the street because she's walking through the Pokemon battle. Now it's getting retweeted and shared again, and I'm like, guys, please, we've been through this already. I know it's a problem, but apparently that's one of the things they're gonna fix in that.
Oh,
Right.
But like, yeah, it's still apparently not gonna be performing as well. It's good that they're getting a lot of this out, so the game is at least more playable, and people hopefully aren't gonna be experiencing as many crashes. But the way they go about it is still kind of odd. Like, the thing is, if you decrease the Pokemon count, is that gonna make shiny hunting even harder for some people? I wonder.
I've
True.
heard that being a thing, so guess we'll see.
Yeah, but
Yeah. But no, I've had that bug happen to me a lot actually, where like random people just walk through your battle, and like it's funny most of the time, and like it doesn't like really bother me, but it definitely can be a little bit immersion breaking because I actually recently was doing the one of the final battles in the Team Star storyline portion of the game, and it's supposed to be a pretty dramatic moment. You're having a Pokemon battle with a pretty important character in the story. It's supposed to be like this epic moment, and you just got these random townspeople and kids just cruising
walking by.
through as these Pokemon do like like crazy fire attacks and basically things that would obliterate any regular human, and they're just chilling, walking through, and they're fine, and it's like, okay, this is a little bit silly, but all you can do is laugh. But yeah, there's a lot they need to fix, and it's such a shame because I said this on Twitter earlier this week, but like it's such a shame about these performance issues because I'm coming around to the idea that Gen 9 might be one of my favorites. It's a really good game.
yeah,
And if it
need to
weren't
get
for the
to it.
performance issues, it might be one of the best, and it still is one of the best gens. But if it weren't for the performance issues, it would be firing on all cylinders. Because everything outside of those performance issues is like some of the best Pokemon content ever, in my opinion. Like I'm a lapsed fan. I quit halfway through Gen 7. I didn't even bother with Gen 8. I thought I was kind of done with Pokemon, and then Gen 9 pulled me back in, and I was skeptical at first. I was like, I don't know. No, it's pulled me back in, and I genuinely love these games. And I genuinely, I think they're really good, and it's a shame that the performance issues bring them down the way they do.
yeah. It's probably one of my favorites as well. I mean, I've completed the Pokédex. I've done as much as I could for like outside the main story. There's not much more I could say about this game that I adore about it, especially when you reach all the way towards the end of the actual story, which I know everyone's talked about to death at this point. But the actual like the performance issues itself is something that just holds a lot of people back. Some people just don't want to even give it a shot because they know it's going to be really buggy and laggy and just a whole bunch of weird things happen. It's like every copy of their Pokemon is personalized because they get some special issue that somebody else has in. And I was like, wow, but. Yeah, a very great game. I recommend it to people who love Pokemon, but honestly, like, just wait for some more patches. See how it performs after this next patch and see how people feel about it. If there's anything beyond these listed issues with performance, and just, see if you want to give it a shot from there.
Things keep working out for me. I'm still working through Xenoblade, so by the time I finish Xenoblade, I can get the Pokemon, and maybe it'll work a little bit better. Plus, because it's taken so long for me to get through Xenoblade, I'm all set to just play through that new DLC stuff.
Exactly.
During the course of the game, so it works out.
Yeah, nice, nice. And by the way, I know frequent positron in our live audience chat. He said, "Just wait, Ash. The highs get higher." I know, and everybody has told me about this crazy end game that I can't even imagine. And I'm just saying, I feel this way about Gen 9 before even getting to that end game. And that's how much I'm saying I like it. Like I haven't even gotten to that crazy stuff, and I really think these games are genuinely great, absent the performance problems. But yeah, so I will report back once I get to this amazing, crazy end game that everybody keeps talking about. But thankfully, I have been able to avoid spoilers, so I don't know what I'm getting into. No idea whatsoever. So I'm looking forward to that. Something else I'm looking forward to, and I think we can all agree, is the Super Mario Brothers movie. And this happened several days ago now, but we still have to talk about it. That commercial with the Super Mario Brothers plumbing, they bring back the Super Show rap. I was not ready for this when I watched it. I was like, "Oh, cool, plumbing commercial. This is fun." And then I watched it, and I'm like, right in the nostalgia, right in the feels.
When I first saw it, I thought it was fan made. I'm like, I just like
that's what I thought.
Me too,
because of the low quality and all that. It's just like, oh, it's just like a fan made. But I was looking at the renders of Mario and Luigi. It's like, man, they have nailed the look of those guys. And I was like, oh shoot, this is real.
They know exactly what they were doing, or they knew exactly what they were doing with that spot, and they nailed it. It's so good, and it's great even if you're not familiar with the show. I feel like it's a fun little spot, but if you are familiar with the Super Show and you're that part of that generation, it just hits you even harder. And it's just it really reads as something that would really be an actual commercial in that universe. If you didn't know about the Super Show, it just feels like a plumbing commercial. Like it's really cool. And they got the the voice actors for Princess Toadstool.
I don't know if that's been 100% confirmed. I saw somebody float that idea, but nobody's been able.
Oh, I thought it was.
I've not seen anybody come out and confirm it, or other than just like this word of mouth thing. But I don't remember.
Well, it sure does sound like her. It does really.
Maybe
sound
I think
her.
maybe that's the thing
Sounds like
is
they
sound like her. Maybe it is her, but I don't think there's been any official confirmation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
it's so it's such a love letter to the Mario series, and it's just the amount of detail they put into this. Like when towards the end, when you see them with the money in the background, and then the Mario Brothers are looking at each other, you can see a fake like green screen glow on them.
Yeah,
it's so good. Like
which I have seen a lot of people point out that Luigi should just be mostly gone because of all the green.
Yeah. But I still appreciate the joke that they did there. It's so good, and the website was really funny too. It's like a straight up like cobbled together website that you see at that time and era, and there's a bunch of little like Mario Easter eggs in there too.
Isn't there only good review from their mom?
Yeah. And then you see like
that. Yeah.
You see like Foreman Spike is making a review saying, "Don't trust these guys. They were my employees a long while back, and now they're doing their own thing. Unreliable," and it's like a 1-star review.
That's amazing.
So good. And yeah, Derek, you're right. So I was looking this up, and I'm basically finding sources saying Jeannie Elias voiced Princess Toadstool in the show, and this person sounds similar, and we think it's her, but we don't know for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also did lose a few brain cells because one of the other headlines on this site, thegamer.com, says losers are complaining the Mario movie is woke because of Rainbow Road, which, first of all, the fuck? Second of all, I'm not really surprised. But
so here's the thing. A lot of this time, it's like people like they're not fans. They don't care. It's just like this, it's just excuses for that sort of
digging
stuff.
for things to complain
Why
about.
are people the way they are?
That's all that is. What for wholesome content. My God, Kai is so ready for this movie, I feel, because I was trying to get something done, and I was like, well, here, put on this new one, because I tried showing him the Super Show, and he bounced. He did not stick with the Super Show at all. It just didn't click with him. But that commercial with those character designs of Mario and Luigi, he watched it 10 times in a row just on repeat. Completely sucked into it. And they put out the time, the runtime, so it's a 90-minute movie. And I'm like, okay, I think I can do this. I think I can take him to see this, and we'll be all set. But it's amazing. Every time, just doesn't matter. He just gets completely sucked into it.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. I love that. I hope you can take him to the theater.
That's the plan. I'm going to try to.
Mm-hmm.
So
Cool.
we'll
Well,
see.
I hope it works out because I know I'm sure he'll love it if he's ready to go to a movie. I'm sure he'll have a great time with it.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah. Well, speaking of movies, actually, we finally got our first trailer for the Tetris movie, and this was
Ooh.
wild. My wife and I watched it a couple of days ago. Have you both seen it?
Yeah,
Oh
it's
yeah.
wildly overdoing like what actually
So
happens.
intense.
Right. It is like an massively over dramatization of like the actual story, but it seems like it'll be fun, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, it
Yeah.
honestly gives me a lot of Weird Al movie vibes.
I could
Where
see that. I could see that. Yeah.
where well, in Weird Al's case, it's like most of it's not true, but in this case, it's like the details are true, but the way they're conveying those details are completely untrue.
Right.
It's so exaggerated to a comical degree.
It's, and I think that's what's going to be fun about it. It's like it's one of those. It's like one of those signature movies that's based on a true story or inspired by true events, which really means barely.
Yeah,
But you
It's
just
just-
yeah.
It's amazing. People are gonna get shot in the Tetris movie, and I'm gonna be there to see that happen.
Same. And
Yeah.
the lead is Taron Egerton, who's a great actor. I really enjoy him in the Kingsman movies, so I'm looking forward to seeing him in this movie. I think he's great, well, wonderfully talented. But yeah, this just seems like a spy heist movie against the backdrop of Tetris.
I love how they have this
Yeah.
like giant development room for like we got to show you something. It's the Game Boy, and he's like, my
It's
God,
falling blocks.
Yeah. It's,
I gotta get
It looks-
Tetris on this thing.
yeah. It looks like it's just going to be a lot of fun and just, kind of goofy and just like not taking itself too seriously. And, it certainly sounds better than, I guess. Remember, we heard about Tetris movie like years and years ago, and the rumor was that it was going to be about an alien invasion or something.
Yeah, well they were
That never got off the ground, thankfully.
basically just like actually adapting Tetris as a story rather than the origin of Tetris.
Exactly, yeah. And we don't have to wait too long. It's coming out on Apple TV Plus on March 31st. So this is not coming to theaters. It is straight to streaming. But it's coming out to the end of March. And I don't have Apple TV Plus, but
I don't
I
either.
will find a friend who has it so I can borrow their login and watch it and then probably not watch
gonna-
anything else.
We're gonna have to get the John review on this one.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. But yeah, those of you out there who have not seen the trailer or didn't even know it was a thing, go check it out. It's pretty wild. It's going to be an experience for sure. And I guess this is a really good time to mention just quickly. Speaking of movies, my wife and I went to a late night screening last night of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and we had a lot of fun. Not the best MCU movie by any stretch of the imagination, but it is a damn good one, and really enjoyed it. So no spoilers, of course, but
It's been all over the place from what I've seen, but I also haven't seen a MCU movie since Shang-Chi, so I'm far behind.
So you're, yeah. I can't wait for Guardians 3. Guardians 3
Oh,
is
yeah.
just.
Oh yeah.
I've watched
the
that
next one?
trailer too many times. I can't. The new trailer, the Super Bowl trailer. I can't wait for that movie. It's gonna wreck me. I know it. It's gonna wreck me.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
can't wait. Yep. All right. Let's see. A couple more news bits. Splatoon 3. We get to go back to Splatoon 1's Inkopolis on February 28th. It's coming out
Yeah.
pretty soon.
Yeah,
And yeah.
the what's the thing called? The giant ink squid, the Kraken. Thank you, Spicy.
Kraken.
The
Yes.
Kraken has returned, which I never thought the Kraken would come back.
Right, same. So it's a lot of fun nostalgia with this first wave of Splatoon 3's expansion pass, and I'm looking forward to it. I would be lying if I said I cared about it that much compared to Side Order, though, because that's what
Right.
I think
We don't-
pretty
we
much
don't
everyone's
really-
waiting for. But
Know what's in this other than just go back to it as all the maps
Right.
available? Like I don't know.
yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing the Squid Sisters perform when during a Splatfest. I'll definitely have to boot it up and see that. I really appreciate that. But yeah, I don't know what else we're really getting with it other than the nostalgia factor. But it's a nice way to tide people over, I guess, until we get a release date for Side Order. But that I love when my wife and I were watching the direct. We rewatched every direct, and we were watching it, and she's like, "Oh, this looks really cool." And I'm like, I really love when Splatoon gets weird. When Splatoon gets dark and weird, and I love it. It's and that's what this is. It looks like.
And you've put out your idea into the ether at this point, right, Daniel, about what Side Order is actually about.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think a lot of people have caught on by now, but I think when we see side order, we thought about like food, just because the way it's worded.
Right.
But for me, I was thinking this might be some kind of what if situation if, at the end of Splatoon 2, because this seems very Splatoon 2 related, considering the location is the Inkopolis hub of that game. What would happen if Order won the final Splatfest instead of
Right.
Chaos?
Would be side chaos.
Maybe, yeah. But I was just wondering, maybe that's what happened, because everything is pure white, so that kind of leads into like the whole order such, instead of everything looking chaotic. So I don't know.
I wonder.
That's just a theory, but we're gonna see exactly what happens.
So reminded of Shin Megami Tensei at this point. Like, it pretty much is the Shin Megami Tensei, just Splatoon. Oh God.
Well, and it reminded me, as you said, I think it was you, Daniel, during our reaction stream. It reminded me of the copied city from Nier Automata.
Right?
Which was so weird to make that connection to Splatoon. But yeah, I really like your theory, and I think you may be onto something, Daniel. I think the order part of the name is absolutely intentionally referencing the order chaos thing, and I think you're right. And I didn't think about it. I remember thinking side order. That's weirdly not epic for what we just saw. Like, that's okay, side order, okay, food, cool, I guess. But then when I saw your take, I'm like, oh, that's actually secretly really good.
Because they always have you thinking about food puns in this game, but now
Right.
they're also doing that double entendre with that in mind. But yeah, super hyped for this. Like, there's such a expectation for how good this can be when you consider how Octo Expansion is one of the best like DLC campaigns I've ever played.
Yeah.
But yeah. Very, very curious to find out more about this, because I do love Off the Hook quite a bit. I think they're my favorite group still.
Oh yeah, I want to see more Marina. I Pearl's fine, she's cool, but I've been Team Marina since day one, and I want to see more of them, but especially her.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see what they've been up to. I want to see them perform again. And maybe we'll be getting some of Marina's backstory in Side Order. It seems like maybe we might be. So we'll see what happens.
see.
Also, frequent positron, I see you, and I love you for this. Saying near Splitomata. Why did I not think of that? That's so good.
Oh, that is good.
That's great. All right, one more thing I want to mention very quickly. I added this to the news, Derek, just really quick. But we were talking about Theatrhythm, and I just want to make it clear to everybody that the director and producer Masanobu Suzui and Ichiro Hazama have gone on record now in interviews about Theatrhythm, saying they are open to doing Theatrhythm games for other franchises, other stuff, and in particular, they are open and interested in doing a Nintendo themed Theatrhythm game. And they've said they want to work with franchises like Zelda, Fire Emblem, Mario, Pokemon. Now, Nintendo will probably never let this happen, because they won't even let us stream their music. They don't even put their music on streaming catalogs. So they seem to be very against the idea of making money off of their amazing catalog of music. But just think for a moment, if they did greenlight this, can you imagine?
Oh, it'd be.
Can you imagine?
Possibilities.
It'd be incredible, but I don't know if it actually happened. There's so much to pull from, and I mean, it makes sense. I mean, the reason this is called Final Bar Line is this is the planned final game in the Theatrhythm series. There's not really much more they can do. There's so many songs on it already.
So many songs, yeah.
So, yeah, let's do it. I'm down.
Man, give me one for Kirby. I think it's the franchise.
Please, Kirby.
Kirby, Splatoon, Zelda, Mario, Metroid. The list goes on and on.
Kirby's that silly series that does a whole bunch of different like side games that it would make a lot of sense for, and there's just such a amazing catalog of music. Even when I realized this, even when we were doing playing the was it Dream Buffet?
Yes,
just
yeah.
the soundtrack in that game, and a lot of remixes from older past games too. I was like, wow, this is a very musically celebrated franchise, and HAL loves to show that off. So I think that'd be perfect for a rhythm game like Theatrhythm.
Right. And then, as Disney Duncan says, Xenoblade. I mean, Xenoblade by itself could have its own Theatrhythm game. Like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Xeno series.
I'm just imagining like Kirby being the bouncing ball that you have like follow the notes if you do a Kirby theme.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yes, I love it. Well, Nintendo, if you're watching, because I know you are, I know you watch this show every week. If you're watching, just know that we want this to happen, and please make it happen. Please greenlight this. Everybody wants this to happen. I don't think you could find somebody who'd be like, oh yeah, Nintendo music game. No, everybody wants this. Please let them make this game. Please, please, please. And that's all we have to say on that. Let's go ahead and read out a few more super chats, and then we will move on to our patron topics for the week. So first up, we have Hustle Bones with $9.99. Thank you. Crystal Chronicles Remastered botched the multiplayer, Banana Mania botched the party mode games, and now Tales. Thank goodness we have a beautiful GameCube port in Prime Remastered. Thankfully,
yeah.
Indeed. Yeah, it's a shame. Yeah, definitely. And in relation to that, TuneJ723 with $2. Thank you, Jay. So in conclusion, buy Tales of Vesperia instead. That does seem to be the power move, or Tales of Arise if you want a new Tales of game. But yes.
They did Vesperia so well. Like, it
Yeah,
performs just as well as you can expect it to, and it does have the extra content that was released on the extra PS3 version. And they just didn't do that with this one. I don't know if it's because the originals weren't on an HD console like the other Vesperia was, but I don't know. It's I mean, play Vesperia still. It's still a great game as well if you want to play a quality Tales game that isn't going to die on you performance-wise.
Yeah. And Vesperia is probably my second favorite Tales of game. It's a really good game anyway that you should play, but yeah, in terms of being a better remaster, Vesperia is certainly the way to go. Mm-hmm. Next, go ahead, Derek.
I was just gonna say, honestly, at this point, after doing I'm still not through the entire series, but after doing some research, freaking release Destiny 1 and 2 on the PS2 versions over here. Like, my God, those are big ones in my opinion.
I'm still waiting for that director's cut for Destiny. Like, just one of the highest quality Tales games you could play.
Yeah. Next up is $2 from Kaiser the Fighter. Thank you very much. Poochie from the Yoshi series versus Rampy from Donkey Kong. And I think you mean Rambi, the rhino.
Yeah,
that's
Rampy.
My guess. And, I mean, as much as I want to be Team Poochie, because I love Poochie, he's a dog, I mean, Rambi's a freaking rhino. I feel like if they're fighting, I feel like if this is a match of power, it's got to be Rambi.
Yeah.
Right?
I think Rambi would do the trick. He could just barrel through everything. So I'd go Rambi.
Yeah.
Rambi for sure.
Sorry, Poochie.
Yeah. Plus, he's easier to control.
Very true. Good point. He is much easier to control. Next up is $2 from our good friend Shellshock Prime. Thank you, Shellshock. Did you guys ever do the Mario dance? And I can't say I ever did as a kid, but you know what? I'm thinking that might make for a fun short. Maybe I should have my she'd probably hate this, but have my wife film me in portrait mode doing the Mario Super Show dance and see how that does on YouTube. Yeah, we can all do it. Yeah. Can't say I have though, and it sounds like you guys haven't either.
Nope.
No.
Yeah. All right. Next up is $4.99 from Z Giesel H. I hope I got that right. Thank you. Yo, GVG, been following you guys since 2014. Love your content. You guys inspired me to start my own gaming blog. Keep up the great work. Well, thank you so much for all your support, Giesel, over the years, and for following us since 2014. That's amazing. Thank you so much, and we're happy to have inspired you in any way. That means a lot. So thank you very much.
They inspire me too. I know how you feel.
You're too nice. Thank you very much. And then finally, for now, Game Belt Summit with $2. I guess this is a two-part super chat. Part 1. What games did you beat multiple times? Well, several, but I'll just go ahead and throw one out there. Chrono Trigger, my favorite game of all time. I've beaten that game more times than I can count. So, yeah, Chrono Trigger for me. What about you guys?
Most Mario games, Mario 3 especially. Honestly, the original Mega Man, I've beaten an oddly number amount of times. I don't know why.
I've beaten every Mega Man game like a ton of times. Well, almost every, not some like X6, but yeah. What about you, Daniel?
Like Paper Mario series, and then N64, The Thousand Year Door. Obviously, the Tales games. I've played Symphonia Abyss so many times at this point. And some Fire Emblem games, like the Tellius games, Path of Radiance, Radiant Dawn. All very long games, so I wish I had that time as I did before, but not anymore.
Yeah. And part 2 of this was not in a super chat, and we already kind of answered this, but meaning games that you loved or are into a lot. For me, it's Mario Galaxy and Luigi's Mansion. I've beaten Mario Galaxy a couple of times for sure, more than once. But yeah, for me, it would have to be Chrono Trigger for sure as an easy one. Mm-hmm. So thank you for that, Game Belt Summit. And one more for now, then I'll read out the rest of the super chats at the end of the show. Anthony Stoffenhagen with $8.64. Thank you so much. There are no Smash Brothers spin-offs, so let's get Square Enix to make a Smash Rhythm game. Yeah, as we were saying, Theatrhythm developer Indie Zero, they want to make a Nintendo installment. Please,
and it's
please, please, please.
and it's not like they only have the visual style of Theatrhythm. They did make Melody of Memory, so
That's true too.
Yeah.
Although I would really like to see theater rhythm style characters of Nintendo characters.
oh, they'd be
right?
adorable.
That would be so cool. I'd love
Yeah.
to see that. So we'll see. We'll see. I hope Nintendo does the right thing, the obvious thing, and works with them on this. But who knows?
If they don't, maybe Capcom will, and you get Mega Man,
Ah,
or they can work
please.
with Konami and give me
Please.
some Castlevania. I'd be down for that
That
too.
would be cool.
Yeah.
Mega Man characters in particular would work really well in Theater Rhythm's art style, I think.
Mhm.
I would love to see like cute little Theater Rhythm chibi versions of like various Mega Man characters. I think that would work really well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, like I said, thank you so much, everybody, for all your super chats, and I will read the rest out at the end of the show. But for now, we're going to move on to our patron topics. And as a reminder, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/GVGaming. You can support us for as little as $1 a month, but if you support us at $10 a month, that is our producer tier, and that enables you to suggest topics for us to discuss each week on the show, like the ones we're about to talk about now. And Derrick, why don't you go ahead and get us started off this week?
All right. Well, my question comes from Dead Alpha Line, who says, "With the Dead Cells DLC coming soon, I challenge you all to say at least one nice thing about Konami post 2015, and try not to overlap with your answers either. Let's keep things varied." And honestly, I feel like Konami gets a little overhated nowadays. I mean, they're not doing a whole lot, but I do
Right.
feel like they get a little overhated. But they're not putting out a ton of different games or anything like that. But man, they put out some damn good compilations.
They do.
Like obviously going back to the Silent Hill HD collection, that was not great, but modern compilations of their old games, like the Castlevania collection, their arcade collection, the Contra collection, the Advanced collection, those were all really, really good. And Jake Smith, yeah, thank you for the reminder. Suikoden 1 and 2.
Mhm.
My God.
Yeah.
Now, Derrick, I completely agree with everything you just said, but you're
Okay.
also wounding me because you left out one of the most important collections, the Cowabunga collection.
The Cowabunga
man!
collection, right.
How did you not?
There's
include
so
that?
many. That's the thing.
there's
There's
so
so
many.
That's
many.
the answer.
But no, I agree. Konami has gotten a lot of deserved hate, in modern gaming over the years for sure. But I think in 2023, maybe it's a little bit overblown, like you said, Derrick, because they actually have delivered on some really good compilations of some of their most beloved games, like the ones you just said. But you also, Alpha Line, said try not to overlap with your answer. So I was going to say Cowabunga Collection, but what I will say is, you know what? They are actually not only doing something with Silent Hill, but they're doing multiple somethings with Silent Hill, and they look really promising. I'm looking forward to the Silent Hill 2 remake. I'm looking forward to Silent Hill F. I'm just glad that they're acknowledging the series as a thing again, and they're like actually breathing life into it. And I went into the Silent Hill showcase earlier this year with the lowest, bare bottom expectations, just lowest expectations. And I was really genuinely pleased. And Caitlin, I know I said bare bottom. I know you're going to mention that. I'm already ahead of you. I heard it as soon as I said it. But yes, I went into the Silent Hill showcase with the lowest expectations possible, and I came away genuinely pleased. And so not only are they doing the great compilations like Derrick said, but they're doing something new with Silent Hill and multiple things, and I can't be mad about that. So there's my positive thing. What about you, Daniel?
So for not overlapping, the one I would say is thank you for not letting Bomberman die.
Yes,
Yeah.
good
The
one.
Bomberman games, I had quite a lot more fun with those games than I expected to. And what's funny is that in those games, they reference a lot of other Konami games from franchises in there as well, like Castlevania. Metal Gear Solid is referenced in Bomberman. There's just so many lesser known franchises in there as well that they kind of helped bring some attention to back in just one Bomberman game. And the multiplayer versions of those titles where we did them with our patrons on stream at some points, those are really fun as well. And I hope at some point that the popularity of Bomberman is enough that they make an actual like proper game like Bomberman 64 again.
Oh man.
That would be
Love
nice.
Bomberman 64 is a really
Such a good game.
really good memory, and if they want to even just remake it or remaster that one version, I would love to see that. So I've always loved Bomberman. I always wanted Bomberman in Smash, and at least he got in as an assist trophy. But yeah, I just don't let the Bomberman die. Just keep it going. I know the service has ended for those games at the moment, but yeah, I hope we see more of that in the future, and that Konami still cares enough.
I would really like to see Bomberman 64 and Super Bomberman 2 ported to NSO. Both of those games are
Hmm.
so phenomenal, and I would really, really like to see them on the service. Who knows if that'll ever happen, but and probably not because they don't want to take attention away from their new Bomberman game, R2. But still, I agree. I'm glad they've done something with Bomberman and have kept that series alive in a way that has nothing to do with X Zero. They're keeping it alive in the way that it should be alive with the proper style. And yeah, so
Yeah.
thank you for that, Alpha Lion. It was a fun topic. Daniel, what's your topic this week, man?
So my question comes from Vedron asking, what would be your ideal, I think you meant theming, for the next mainline 3D Mario? We've had vacation, space, world traveling. What's next?
Ooh.
Gosh. So like, how do you expand further from space? Really, they kind of reeled it back in with world traveling,
Right.
which I thought was really cool. What if we went to like not outer space, but like a digital space instead?
Ooh, like
I think
cyberspace.
if you go into like a digital space instead, there's a lot more possibilities. It's a lot more open. There's a lot of different mechanics I think you can apply to that, and you could even have some power ups lean into that as well, like some kind of electric Mario maybe that can like go through circuits and such, and use that for platforming. Electric balls instead of like fireballs or ice balls maybe.
Ooh. Okay.
I think there's a lot they can do with that, and you can even kind of apply some. The laws don't have to make sense in the digital space, so you can still do some things with like anti gravity or just very interesting ways to platform in a 3D environment that I think we haven't explored before. So that's what I think. That's what I hope we can do at some point, because like we really haven't really seen any kind of like digital theming in Mario games at this point.
No,
True.
not
I
really.
actually really like that
No.
idea. I hadn't thought about that. I love that idea. I think something I was kind of landing on was and this might be a little darker than Nintendo would want to go with Mario, but what about a parallel universe thing where you have to hop back and forth between the universe everybody knows and then one where Bowser won. And it's like a lot darker and so
Oh
you have to
man.
like hop between universes between the one that Mario's always been in and one where Bowser took over and he won and you have to like
Mario,
travel through both universes to
It's a
to
Mario and
progress.
Luigi rift apart.
Yeah,
it's a
exactly.
it's a link to the
Yeah.
Mario.
A link to the Mario. But that could be fun. I feel like there are a lot of cool platforming changes or challenges they could do with the whole dimensional shifting mechanic. And Rec BCQ just said, I said multiverse, you idea thief. I didn't see that, but you know what? I see it now. You said that before I said it, so I give you full credit. You said that. So actually, so did Jacob Tucker in our YouTube chat, Mario Multiverse. So definitely, I'm not the only one with this idea, but yeah, I like the idea of hopping back and forth between the regular universe and one where Bowser won, and them using that in various creative ways for platforming challenges and just for overall progression. I think that could be fun.
Give Bowser the win. Let him win for once, even if it's in a
Right?
different universe.
Yeah,
I want to see a Bowser conquered world and see what that's like.
exactly.
That'd be pretty
What about
fun.
you, Derek?
Um, trying to think would be a little different or anything like that. And the thing that came in my mind, but I don't know how you expand upon it too much. Um, a Mario game more focused on the locations of Mario Land 1 and 2. Let's go back to Sarasa Land.
Sarasaland,
Oh,
yeah.
And I don't know whatever the island was in Mario Land 2, because there's some really unique enemies in there and powers. We got the bunny hats, we got the super ball, we got
Yeah.
all kinds of strange enemies like the Shang-Chi like enemies. We got
Right.
the walking hockey mask with a knife in its head from
Yeah.
Mario Land 2. There's some weird enemies found in the Mario Land games, and to see those represented in 3D and maybe giving a bit more of a focus to Daisy and just changing up a bit, like just really kind of like taking the forgotten bits of the Mario lore and just making it the focus this time around for a Mario 3D game.
I love that idea. I've always really appreciated, like you, Derek, the weirdness of the land games and just the weird power ups and the weird off kilter enemy designs. Yeah, I'd love to see a return to that style of Mario for sure. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, the first time I actually played Mario, the Six Golden Coins, Mario Land Six Golden Coins was on NSO because I never
Oh, right.
really
Oh,
owned any
really?
games.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
It's such a good game, isn't it?
I never really owned any I have very few titles for the Game Boy like that I've owned physically, and it's just a wonderful way to get introduced to that. And yeah, such a weird little title with unique design elements and just things you don't see in 2D Mario even today.
Right.
That from
Mhm.
that game, and yeah, I think it would be really cool to see a bigger focus on that. Wario could be the enemy again, the main villain at the end. That could give him some more attention in that sense.
Yeah. Why not? Go for it.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that and just seeing Daisy in a prominent role would make a lot of people happy. I think that would be a really good thing, a really cool way to explore that. But in a 3D environment, yeah, that definitely would bring some attention to it. That would you don't have to do anything super crazy or different. It's just the fact that the environment is this weird and unusual that would make much of a stark contrast from the whole like world traveling space, etc. And
Right.
there's even
Yeah.
some stages in space, so they can go all over the place
Yeah.
with this series.
We can go
Yeah.
back to Mario's ballroom.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And kind of related to this, Kaiser the Fighter just donated a $2 super chat. Thank you very much. Saying Mario and Sonic Omniverse of Madness. How about that? Sign me up. I'd be in for that. A Mario and Sonic crazy multiversal thing going on where they're teaming up. Sure. Let's
Yeah.
go. I'm all about it. Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you for that, Vedron. And my topic this week comes from Disney Duncan Metcalf. Thank you for this topic, Duncan. And yours is, if this is the last year of the Switch, what kind of console is next for Nintendo? And we've kind of touched on this before, but and I think if he were here for this show, Steve would probably agree with what I'm about to say. But I absolutely believe that the next Nintendo console is going to be some version or upgraded Switch. Like it's going to be based on the Switch design or idea of a portable console. They have 100% developed themselves into a corner, and the Switch was such a success compared to the Wii U, and such a success in its own right, that I can't see them going back to a traditional console where it's only connected to the TV and you can't take it with you. The whole portable console thing has been such a hit for Nintendo that it's really hard to imagine them ever. I don't mean just for the next console. It's really hard for me to imagine them ever going back to a traditional console like underneath your TV model. I don't think they're going to do that again.
Yeah.
It's
The Switch is a console that's also a handheld. But for the next one, what if they did a handheld that's also a console? Have you ever thought about that?
I mean, I feel like we're kind of oranges and apples here, right?
yeah.
No, that's a joke.
Right.
But I can't imagine them going away from this model. It's console and handheld put together. They consolidated their teams to not just work on two different platforms, but just combine into one. And the library on the Switch is almost comical of how many games you can play on there, and even ones that are released every week. And to lose that with the next console would be pretty major. So I can't imagine they'll lean away, especially when you can keep on adding things. Like probably whatever the successor is will have NSO GameCube or even NSO Wii. Who knows how far they're going to take that.
I mean,
but
to piggyback off you, Daniel, if you don't mind.
yeah.
Really, what they could almost do with the follow up is include a stylus with the Switch 2.
Oh.
That way you can get DS and 3DS NSO, just as long as you play handheld.
That would be really cool.
That, or release a little, if you want to play on the TV, release like a little touchpad thing that you can have like an accessory and just be able to write on that and have those type of ideas that they want to develop it further. I don't know. I feel like that that might be an idea, is to just have that much more of a touchscreen functionality and just be able to have every single version of a Nintendo console and handheld able to be emulatable.
Emulatable.
Thank you. On the Switch 2.
Yeah, give us a capacitive touch stylus and have it so that you can have it so you can hold the Switch vertically instead.
Yeah.
And have some like kind of special grip for it maybe or something like that. And you could do pretty much any touchscreen game you can imagine from the DS, 3DS. I would love that.
That'd be awesome. Yeah. And as Topaz Pikachu in our live audience patron chat makes a great point, not to mention they combine their handheld and console development teams. That's true. So that's just one more reason that it doesn't feel like they're ever going to have separate console and handheld lines again. I think I think Switch is the present and the future, and I think they're just going to continue to iterate on that design. The one thing I just hope they don't mess up is backwards compatibility. I so want the next console, the next Switch, whatever.
Oh, please
to be fully backwards. Please be backwards compatible. That is so key. That is so important. So I hope they don't mess that up.
I can only buy Super Mario World so many times before I lose my patience.
Right.
Exactly. Well, thank you for that topic, Duncan. And that does bring us to the end of our patron topics for the week, and very nearly the end of the show. But we do have a couple more super chats to read out. First off, Born96 with £4.99. Thank you very much. Wish for a Theatrhythm of all Sonic music. If not Sonic, Yakuza, or any Sega IPs. Yes, please.
There are certain
Theatrhythm Sega. Yeah.
There are certain games out there. It's like amazing they don't have rhythm games.
Right. Yeah, we were talking earlier, Sonic and Mega Man for sure. But I agree. Just do like Theatrhythm Sega, Sonic, Yakuza, Streets of Rage. Streets of Rage is made for a rhythm game. Panzer Dragoon, Knights. Like there's so much they could outrun. Oh God, a legacy Sega Theatrhythm. Steve would be popping off right now if he were here, because he loves Sega like we do. And I think a Theatrhythm Sega would be awesome. And then our last super chat for the day, SSB Synchro with $10. Thank you very much, Synchro. Just started Xenoblade 3 last Saturday, already on Chapter 4. Let's see if I can beat it before Derrick. I have played Xenoblade 1 and 2, so after that direct, I am very confused. Just wait. Yeah. And if you're in Chapter 4, Synchro, you are coming up on what I think is peak Xenoblade content in the entire series. End of Chapter 5, beginning of Chapter 6, just get ready, is all I'll say. Wouldn't dream of spoiling anything. Just get ready.
I'll be able to play a little bit tonight while Amy's streaming, but but I'm not gonna be able to push forward in Chapter 6 because the DLC is out. So I'm like, well, let's check out this new one and check out the new stuff that's in the battle arena. So that's what I'll likely be playing tonight.
Right. But yeah, get ready, Synchro. Enjoy. You're in for a ride. And Xenoblade 3, what a game. And that, I think, is the perfect note to end off episode 45 of the GVGcast. Thank you so much for being here, everybody, on this very special Saturday, earlier in the day episode of the show. I hope you enjoyed this. Really happy to be able to bring you all an episode earlier in the day for those of you across the pond. We really appreciate you all being here with us. We love you. We love doing this every week, so thank you. As always, we have to give a special shout out to all of our patrons in the producer tier and above for helping to make this show happen and keeping the lights on. We love what we do, and we couldn't do it without you, so thank you so very much. In addition, as always, we have to give an extra special thank you to all of our patrons at the executive producer tier and above. And those incredible, amazing, stupendous, wonderful folks include Brandon Bovia, Cutie Caitlin, Fangs, Z Patty, Just Brian, Sky Blue Flames, Eastman23, Adam O'Sullivan, Richard Herrera, Logan Daniel, The D-Pad, Vesmio, Waffle King, Critter XD, Joy Content, Angel Martinez, Vedron, Joshua Hunter, Benny Yao, Blindman, Azran127, Black King, Pagrima, Geller, Joseph Rutkin, Titus Malvolio, Geeky Griffin, Lucky Wonderfish, Kyle, Wataniac, Top Dog 23100, Young Ben Kenobi, Doug Showmix, Andrew Medeiros, Brady Power, Darchi, Becca, Rocks the Cat, Killamox, Sean Davis, Michael McCaw, Matthew Wong, Goron Amber CPHT, Too Much Spaghetti, Bane 400, Ascaron 809, Ryaner, Nathan Steele, Spicy Atanda, Rain in Clouds, The Game Orb, Super Gamer Dude 101, Grantles, Ravelox, Rosa Pardo Bowling, Hi Steve's Mom, Mega Amster, Dark Steel 01, Jason Uloa, Jaden Buck, Cystic Warrior 29, DJ Jurassic, Super Dank Awesome Unicorn Guy, Derrick, Colin, Blaystar 25, Mumbling Yeti, Cameron Sharp, Keel, Moon Knight, Brendan Hesse, Hustlebun, Noah Fitterer, Calvin Atkinson, Rainchild, the entire state of Wisconsin, Jim Wakeland, Longboy Shiggy, Aramis Baramis, Kyle the Monarch, Dat Alpha Lion, Lord Metarex, Kyle Gamer and Barry Rookie, Blaze Collard, Eric, Turbo, DGC, Cat Evie Person 5, Lady Maxillary, Dr. Ryan, Peyton Thiel, Mega Beatman True Blue Reviews, Jung Ant, and certainly, last but not least, Lord Clump of Studio Crazy Train. Thank you all so much. It is an honor to read that list out every week. We love you all. As a reminder, we do also have a Twitch channel. Our good friend Daniel right here joins with Brandon several times a week now. Every week, twitch.tv/officialgvg. They play all sorts of cool games together as part of Good Vibes Arcade over on our Twitch channel. So please do go check them out over there. Also, we have a VODs channel now. You've wanted to see our Twitch VODs on YouTube. They are on YouTube now. Good VODs Gaming. So make sure to check us out there too. Subscribe if you want to see our Twitch VODs. But definitely go check out all the cool stuff Daniel and Brandon are doing over on our Twitch channel as part of Good Vibes Arcade. That's it for us now. We are headed to our Patron exclusive post show. We will see you next week. Have a great weekend. We love you all. Good night. I guess kind of good night. Good day this time. Good day and good vibes. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Till we meet again.